Daisuke told me the Iceman got his name from the serial killer-like coldness with which he mauls his opponents. Standing across the cage from him, every bone in my body feels what he meant. Although he's in his mid-40s, the Iceman's frigid indifference smirks that youth is not going to be a factor tonight. Shit, it's hard to even maintain eye contact with this guy, let alone stand in his crosshairs. As hundreds of thousands cheer my opponent on, Goldberg's amplified voice cries over the jovial masses.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for last night's awe-inspiring performances. Because tonight, my friends, the victors square off in bronze baddest quarterfinals.
As the crowd goes deafening, Yomi and Daisuke call me towards my corner. Jason would have been here, but he's with Randall and Boo back at the flat, keeping our guests company. Anyway, I think, judging from my opponent's track record, today's fight might just get a little too R-rated for dear old Boo.
Are you ready for this?
Fuck. Nope.
Don't get nervous. You suck when you're nervous.
Stellar advice, coach.
Just stick to the game plan.
You mean the one where I don't get hit in the face?
That's the one. Keep doing that and you'll be fine.
Does this look like the time for jokes? I glance back and realize Goldberg's already introduced the Iceman.
And in the gold corner, this man is a Tai Jitsu practitioner with a record of 2 wins, no losses. I give you Theo, the White Evil!
And as expected, the crowd doesn't give a shit. They boo. But that doesn't get under my skin. No, the 240-pound beast standing across the cage from me is doing a good enough job of that on his own. Goldberg exits as the referee locks the cage door behind him. The officials glance at the Iceman.
Iceman, are you ready?
My opponent raises his fists to his face, causing the entire arena to explode with cheers.
White Evil, are you ready?
Fuck no. I lock eyes with my opponent. This old son of a bitch thinks he scared me stiff and let me slap some reality into his face. Unlike last time, I cautiously approach the killer. Respecting his strength, I slowly circle around him, trying to avoid being cornered. Damn it, man, he knows what I'm doing. He's already anticipating the takedown. I can't just dive in. I need to set up a shot. So I throw a leg kick. He blocks it with his shin bone, making my skeleton painfully reverberate on impact. It's fine. Again. Undeterred, I throw another. Damn it! He cracked it again. 3rd time's the charm. I lift my leg to throw a third, and right on cue, I see him raise his leg to block it. There we go. Run! Go! I instantly let Ghost kick in and dive for his legs. Not a bad shot, but decades of sprawling and brawling had exposed a battle-hardened vet to such underhanded dupery. The Iceman sprawls back, throwing his legs out of reach. I jump back, but before I can get to my feet, he's already showing everybody what this mad bastard is the king of sprawl and brawl. Charging me down, he starts slinging vicious punches from all angles.
Iceman explodes!
I try my best, hoping Ghost steers me clear of his animal-like fists, but it doesn't. He's too fast, too powerful. Each punch feels like a shotgun pump point blank into my body. Before I know it, I'm being pummeled into a corner. Backed up against the cage, I cover my head as my foe picks me apart, jackhammering his XXL hands into my head, ribs, and liver.
White Evil is in a world of trouble. No human can take this kind of punishment.
Already? Are you kidding me? My brain's screaming at my body, begging it to move, but the only way my muscles respond is by echoing the electrical numbness still sizzling through my skeleton. A bleeding scar of the thunderous combos he's lighting me up with, and a bleak reminder of just how out of my fucking depth I am. I don't know if it's my legs shutting down, or the blood-crazed hundreds of thousands rattling the entire mountain, but I slump onto the trembling ground, using whatever little motor function I have to cover up and feebly shield myself from the Iceman's relentless onslaught. Towering over me, he pounds my skull with steam iron fists that are now scarred with my wounds. And hawking over my assailant stands the referee. The official is itching on tiptoes, milliseconds from tearing the Iceman off me, from kicking me out of this competition, from destroying fucking everything. Don't you fucking dare! The referee's hands fly towards the Iceman. He's gonna finish it? The referee's seen enough. He wants to stop the bloodbath. but he never reaches us. Spending my last spark of neural energy, I wind my leg and shoot it forwards. Blow strikes the ref right down the pipe. The bony heel connects with his face, sending him toppling back. Gushing out of his crushed nose, his howls are deafened by the bell that signals the end of the round. As the lights and oxygen start returning into the room, I realize the arena has gone absolutely insane. The drops of blood speckling the canvas are literally vibrating the mountain's tumultuous excitement.
Was it an accident? Ladies and gentlemen, any sign of aggression against an official is means for disqualification as well as criminal charges. However, the question is, was the white evil lucid enough to do so on purpose? Because if not, he'll leave this cage cuffed on the stretcher.
Goldberg glances at the substitute referees, furiously debating on how to proceed as their paling companion is carted off.
Wait, looks like they've come to a decision.
A new referee climbs into the cage, glaring at me. However, as I climb to my feet, ready to defend myself with my black belt pedigree of the ancient art of bullshitting and making up excuses, the pissed off official slams the door shut behind me. As the thousands almost bring the cave down, Goldberg screaming,
"It is still on! This fight is still on!" Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot tell if they believe it was an accident or not, but it seems as the referees have decided to let the white evil continue fighting.
The Iceman steps back from me before his stony mask splits into a slight grin, almost as if he's impressed.
Although considering how this fight is going, maybe letting him fight is more of a punishment. I mean, look at the way he's hobbling back to his stool. That kid is dead on his feet.
A grimace, facing a worry-stricken Yomi and Daisuke. Well, that didn't work. Any ideas?
Theo, this doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good? He can barely stand. How the hell do you think he can fight like this?
Yomi's gazing at me, clutching a towel.
Theo, please stop this.
Don't you dare. I snatched the rag out of him, sponging the red out of my eyes. I tossed the towel to Daisuke, glaring at him. So what's the game plan? What are we doing now? Daisuke runs his hands through his hair, looking hopeless.
Theo, this doesn't look good.
Hit the last breath pretty good, didn't I? Just gotta aim slightly to the right this time. Might catch my opponent. I try to wink at Daisuke, but my eye is swollen shut. My friend puts his hands on his head, staring hopelessly at the Iceman.
If we're gonna do this, get a hold of him, Theo, as soon as possible. Get a hold of him and drag him to the ground.
And how am I planning on achieving this miracle?
Do what you did before.
You mean get cracked over and over again?
Fighters, get ready.
The new ref calls from behind us as he drags the only people who don't want to see me bleed out on the mat. I tune out their voices. I already know how they feel. Terrified. Last night this mad bastard killed a guy, crushed his skull. You know what? The deceased hadn't taken half the punishment I have in this first round. And trust me, this isn't me bragging about toughness, because you should see me stumbling into my stance. I look like Bambi trying to walk on frozen loop, man. This is bad. Breathing hard, I turn around and lock it is his serial killer like ice. He knows what I want to do, and his flawless technique is gonna keep that from ever happening. This is not working. This is not fucking working. Teeth gritted, I sprint towards my opponent, desperate to push the action, to clinch, to grab a hold of him. It worked against a crusher, maybe. Nope. Iceman knocks me out with a straight right, but my momentum makes me crash right into him. As the stars and birds disperse, I realize I pressed him up against the cage. However, considering the volume of short punches and knees he's throwing at me, I was better off before.
My evil is in desperation mode. I don't think he's got much left in the tank.
Goldberg yells as the crowd rumbles like a shark that smells blood. They know it's coming. They know this thing isn't gonna go another round. Unable to take any more hard punches to the gut, I jump back, but as I break away, I duck under a vicious right hook and blindly throw an elbow. The sharp, bony tip digs into the Iceman's forehead. As I back off to the center of the cage, I see a vicious gash torn above his right eyebrow. Blood gushes out and down into his right eye. Frustrated, he wipes his face, but an endless curtain of red descends over the eye.
That's a gusher, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like the Iceman has given up on clearing his right eye and has decided on using the other one to end this. At the rate this fight is going, he won't have to wait long.
Light bulb. Okay, this is my only shot. Dead on my feet, I start hobbling towards his right. The Iceman is throwing some vicious combos, but his accuracy is impeded, and I'm able to dodge him.
Oh, what's this? Whitey's catching on to the Iceman's rhythm. But that isn't gonna help unless he lands any strikes, and considering the lethal hits he's taken, his corner has to be asking themselves how much has he got left in the tank.
Thanks for the pep talk, you mic-sucking pencil fuck! As I dodge my fourth consecutive combo, I realize something. He always ends his combos by throwing his signature move, ducking his head and throwing a hard overhead right. So with my right fist clenched, I wait. The Iceman throws a couple punches at me and I eat him. The sheer impact echoes through my skeleton. The freight train like shock thunders through my nerves, seconds from robbing me of my senses. Before the blows can take their toll, I see him lunge forward with his right hand. And that's all Ghost needs. My right hand cocked, I plant my foot down and lunge upwards, swinging the balled fist right up into his chin. My knuckles crush through his face, crashing over each other and into my locked fist. It feels like my uppercut just blew my hand off, but this is not the time to be nursing fucking boo-boos. The Iceman slumps onto his knees, I swarm on him like my life depends on it. Clutching him by the throat, I hammer down on him with my mangled, twitching fist. His features are swelling up, but I don't stop. Blood is pouring, but I don't stop. Breath is disappearing, but I don't stop. The referee's arm snakes around my throat, peeling me off the unconscious fighter.
All over!
Robert gasps, composing himself to confirm what thousands can't believe.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has to be the upset of the century. The Whitey becomes the first man ever to knock out the Iceman, along with the referee.
The eardrum shredding applause makes the canvas tremble beneath my feet. Looking utterly amazed, jaws hanging low. Daisuke and Yomi barge through the cage door.
You are one crazy bastard, you know that?
Daisuke shudders, staring at me as if I'm a train wreck. God knows I look like I just survived one. Eyes moist, Yomi moans.
Theo, you stupid. Are you okay? We have to get you a doctor.
I'm fine, little buddy. What'd you think? Your big brother can take a few hard shots, can he?
And you're about to take another one. He might have a concussion. Look how he's shaking. Where the hell are the stupid medics?
Don't worry about me. I'm just a little winded. I slump down the hard steel, trying to casually play off that I am not ready to keep standing just yet. I'll be fine. I just need a shower and a little sleep. I'll be fine. Daisuke groans as his eyes rest on something. He points at my arm with barely repressed dread.
Oh my god. Theo, your hand.
Well, they sure as shit aren't overreacting this time. My mangled train wreck of a hand is bending the wrong way. A black hue is creeping underneath the skin, suffocating any failed attempt I make to move it. Might be a little broke. It's okay, no biggie. I try to give him a reassuring smile. My swollen and cut face doesn't obey. The pair are staring at me in disbelief, as if to ask me how far I'm willing to take this. As far as I need to.
Hey, this is Mike from Letters from the Fire, and you are listening to SOB. Check it out.
While I submerge my shattered hand into an icy bucket, pressing more ice to my swollen face. Even though I'm the first man to have ever knocked out the Iceman, the fact that I have to fight the Frozen Dragon Clan's top pick, Edmund Brave, the following day kinda dips its dick in my tea. Especially when I'm gonna be walking into a fist fight with a completely shattered hand. And as if I don't have enough vomit in my plate, I've got two extremely dangerous people bound and gagged in my kitchenette living room bedroom. One of whom I used to see as a friend. Randall weakly laughs as Park bores into him with his fiery glare.
Again, Professor Park, I'm really sorry about hitting you. Look, now I'm gonna take your gag off as a sign of mutual forgiveness. And in return, I'd like you to let me off the hook, okay?
Taking Park's murderous glare as compliance, Randall gingerly frees his mouth.
Daisuke, Randall's failed his past 2 midterms. Did he tell you?
Randall quickly stuffs the rag back into his mouth, but seconds later, stumbling forward as Daisuke's sandal hits him in the back of the head.
You said you only failed one.
No, I said I failed another one.
Randall laughs weakly, hoping Daisuke finds it funny. Another flying slipper says he doesn't. Now I'd let the two play out their cute, weird little family dynamic. But seeing that Park and Hughes have gained consciousness, so I want answers. Yo, Jason, why don't you go home and get some rest? Catches my eye and nods.
Yeah, I got it, Theo. But hey, be sure to get some sleep, man. You're gonna need it against Brave.
No. What are you doing, Theo?
But I'm just returning Hughes's icy stare. I just need to ask that one why he's following us.
Then why are you sending us away? You aren't planning on...
An uneasy silence follows. I look at Jason and gesture to him to get Yomi out of here.
Hey, come on, Yomi. Let's go.
I'm not going anywhere.
Fine. Glancing over at Daisuke, I see he's got Park's pistol in hand. Good. Boo, sweetie, why don't you go with Uncle Jace? I smile at her. She looks uncertainly at Daisuke, who nods. The second the front door closes behind them, my fist bounces hard off Fuse's face. Now why the fuck have you been following me? I'm snarling at him, but all he does is insolently stare back up at me. Alright? I'm warmed up. I can do this all day. A dark welt burns his temple, but he just sneers in response.
Be careful, Fitzgerald. You might break your other hand, too.
Fitzgerald? Wait, did he just call me Fitzgerald? I haven't heard that name since... Oh my god. Oh my god. Before anyone can react, I snatched the gun from Daisuke's hand and thrust it to Hughes' temple. Does he know where I am?
What do you think you're doing?
Don't make me repeat myself. Whip Hughes with the barrel. I know Agnello sent you. Does he know where I am? Hughes spits out a mouthful of blood and sneers. Shit. I can't let him find me. Not with Yomi here. No way. He almost killed me last time, and I'm pretty sure I've run out of lives. Didn't I just say don't make me repeat myself? Why?
Don't play dumb. We both know why I'm here.
Yeah, you're right. I'm done playing. Before the bullet sizzles into the wall, Daisuke pins me to the floor. Yomi picks up the gun, he slaps off aim at the last second. Hughes can thank Yomi for giving him a few more seconds to live, because you bet your ass the second bullet's not gonna miss. Dropping the smoking revolver as if it were something vile, Yomi explodes. He's looking at me, as if seeing me in a new light. Everybody in the room is. It's the worst feeling imaginable. When the people you know, the people you care about, they see you as a monster. But if Agnello is circling us...
Very amusing, Theo, Fitzgerald, whatever you're calling yourself. But we both know they aren't gonna let you kill me. So why not just tell me where your boss is?
Boss? Boss, what are you talking about?
Pretending you've forgotten the bastard, huh? McFinery. Earl McFinery, the leader of the human trafficking ring. Your human trafficking ring.
Everybody's looking at me, alarmed. Yomi mutters, terrified for a completely different reason. My frown transitions from rage to complete confusion. because I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. And Aniello sent you? Oh. An ironic, bitter smile creases my lips. I look at my shaken brother. Yomi, thanks for stopping me. I think I almost did something really unnecessary. Randall, ungag Professor Park. I think we all need to have a very important, very honest chat. So, Hughes, was it? You don't work for Aniello, do you?
No.
As confusion replaces his irk, I drag a seat opposite him and sit down. So what do you want with Mr. Earl McFinery?
Your boss is on my list, so he dies.
I seriously doubt that.
And why do you say that?
Well, for one thing, he's not real.
What do you...
Don't listen to him, Jaehoon. As if I'm gonna buy that. Aniello told me everything, how McFinery's responsible for all the trafficking in Winson. I've been following you ever since you borrowed the 50,000 grails for him to kickstart your business.
That 50,000 grails was for my brother's hospital bills. There's no Earl McFinery, no Fitzgerald. I just used that alias to make sure the money never got traced back to me or my family. Aniello lied to you, man.
Maven.
The icy cool composing Hughes has left. He looks completely...
He's right about his brother, Maven. It wouldn't surprise me that he'd need such an expensive treatment. And I assume it did not succeed?
I nod. Hughes doesn't respond. The ex-cop is staring at the floor, looking completely empty.
Why'd you kill all those people in the mosh pit?
No, but you was at the Crown Square massacre. Theo saw you.
The second it became clear that Fitzgerald wouldn't walk away from the gallows, I turned around. But before I could leave, something hit me in the back of the head. When I woke up, police had already arrested him.
Spare nice fall on me.
I thought you did it.
Leiska looks at Park.
Is that why you gave him this apartment at such a low price? So that you could keep an eye on him?
Yes. What are you doing?
Park gawks as I cut his restraints.
Aren't you going to kill us?
Why should I? They're no threat to us. I move on to Hughes. He suddenly jumps at me. I don't know how he freed himself, but the next thing I know, I'm pinned to the wall, a knife pressed against my throat.
For the last time,
Let the boy go.
where is McFinery? Don't give me this bullshit. Just tell me. Please.
Let him go.
Yomi hisses into Hughes' ear, holding a fork to his throat.
Maven, let the boy go.
Back off!
We were wrong. Aniello's been behind it all along.
I said, let him go.
Yomi snarls, pressing the fork harder against Hughes' throat. Never saw the side of him. This puppy's grown claws. Yomi? I look at him calmly and shake my head. Although Hughes' eyes are wet and his grip is shaking, he isn't choking me. He's not even threatening me. I peel his gnarled, calloused hand off my neck and walk straight past the broken man. Hughes screams, sticking the knife right through the wall.
Get some sleep, Maven. Aniello's not going anywhere.
Says Park softly, walking past Yomi and me, putting a hand on Hughes' shoulder.
We'll plan our next move in the morning.
Hughes slaps his friend's hand off and storms out. Park starts to follow, but everybody in the room clears their throat loudly, causing him to turn around.
I guess I'm not off the hook, huh? I suppose I have some explaining to do.
Our steely stares are enough to vociferate, "No shit." He glances up at the empty doorway sadly.
Maven, I don't know if you know this, but he was head of the Winson Police's Special Interrogation Unit.
You mean torture squad?
Daisuke folds his arms, still holding the gun. Park nods, sitting back in the chair we'd restrained him in.
Maven had captured a couple of these gangs as lieutenants and was about to crack them. If that had happened, he would have found out everything. How they operated, who was supplying them with weapons, who they were selling people to. Everything. But their bosses couldn't let that happen. They had to retaliate. So, they went after his family. He was just in time to save his wife. But his daughter... Do you know what happens to kidnapped kids in Winston?
I nod, but Yomi answers.
They chop off their limbs and then make them beg in the streets.
What?
Yeah. Gangs reckon people feel more sympathy for disabled kids, so they cut off an arm or a leg. Shit, sometimes they'd even burn them. After the mutilations, those dick licks toss the poor kids into the streets, forcing them to beg, pocketing pretty much everything they make.
And if the kids can't scrounge up enough money, those scumbags just keep on cutting.
Yomi finishes, telling a horrified-looking Daisuke Randall. I return to my ice bucket and dunk my broken hand inside. The more pitiful they make their workforce, the more profitable they'll be, right?
You two have had experience with this.
It's hard not to come by them in Winston. Every street has a few poor souls.
Maven's daughter was one of them.
Park points at his elbow and gestures along its length.
They cut it off, crippled his daughter, and threw her into the streets. With all his police connections, Maven eventually found her. But even then, the blade they used to mutilate the poor child was tainted. Blood poisoning.
God, that's awful.
Grief-stricken, his wife hanged herself. Every waking day since, Maven has been kicking down doors and breaking teeth, hell-bent on finding the gang responsible for his tragedy. Although his obsession drove him off the force, his efforts haven't been fruitless. He stumbled on a paper trail and followed it to Agnello, but somehow, that bastard convinced him that an Earl McFinery was responsible and pointed at you as breadcrumbs.
So why can't you just go get Agnello now? I mean, now he knows who to go after.
A lot has changed since Kyle Zillin's death. The Regents declared the STD just to buy some more time, so that they could raise another Regent.
Fourth Regent? Why would they want more competition?
To eliminate the others. Agnello has strong links with Benny Bartlett, the Frozen Dragon Clan, and the Fourth House. Each feels compelled to protect the bastard, foolishly hoping that he would support them against the others.
So Agnello's invincible?
Park nods.
I'm sorry I've had to deceive you boys. Truly, it was just to help out a brother. I know it's asking a lot, but is there any way we can move past this?
Daisuke and Yomi glance at me. After my erratic behavior, even they don't know what to expect of me. But I simply shrug. I've got enough enemies. We're cool, sir.